I need something different. Well, I want to welcome you to my show. My platform is Federal Nightmare. Like I said, it's about getting prison with mental health.
Federal Nightmare, what a term, what a label. Yeah, you wake up and you didn't wake up, you're still in the nightmare.
Exactly.
How about you crazy son of a bitch? Yeah. What the hell is going on? You lost your mind for real, or are you only into a fantasy and that's part of your nightmare? Ain't gonna wake up because it ain't gonna get shook up.
Right.
You gotta get yourself straightened up. And when your head is not where it's supposed to be, your wake up time is dead time. Because nightmare is everywhere. That's a little rock freestyle.
Exactly. I know you get down.
Yeah, I got a little skill there,
yeah.
All right.
You better than Jay-Z. I want to go back though. Entertaining grandfather and your grandfather's best friend, right?
They weren't best friends, they were business partners.
Okay, what kind of business?
They practiced medicine together. My old man, grandfather, the one you talk about, was born in 1850, 11 years before the Civil War started.
Mm-hmm.
Lived to be 100 something. I'll laugh once seeing him alive. He wrote a journal that I got when I was in my early 30s from one of his lawyers. But anyway, he and another uncle of mine killed 2 black deputy sheriffs for lynching another uncle. They had to get on up. So,
they had to get down, they got away?
Yeah, they got away.
Yeah. That's a heck of a story. Now, I heard your grandmother didn't play no game.
She talked off.
Yeah.
Laugh at the colored folks. She'd say, colored people be getting mad at the white folk and just take a scalp and nail it to the lodge pole and secretly smile.
Right.
Different kind of thing.
So maybe you want to get into, because I know you've seen a lot of murder. I watched a lot of shows.
Oh, I tried a whole lot of murder cases.
Yeah.
Why'd I get into that?
No. Didn't you see a lot of murder and a lot of violence when you were growing up? Didn't you see like one time?
Yeah, I spoke on that one time. I think I saw 14, 15 people killed before I got 15 years old.
And that's why I wanted to know what made you want to be in the criminal justice side when you could have easily went.
Well, I didn't particularly want to be a lawyer in the first damn place, but that's the way it worked out. When you start dealing with criminal law, you start dealing with the interaction of the government and the people. So, yeah, naturally something to gravitate to since I've been kind of doing that anyway since mid-teens. And it was kind of the thing about what the hell's going on. Where does it all go to? How does it work? And that was into politics, all of this. Well, what I wanted to do, thanks to St. Ron the Ray Gun, screwing it up, doing what he did, well, I wound up getting it law. So here I am.
There you go. And I heard your first time, first black prosecuting attorney
Memphis, yeah.
In Memphis, right? 8-year term, recidivism went down like what, 6?
No, that's when I was a criminal court judge.
Okay.
Recidivism went down from about 80% where it stayed for the rest of the state over this 10-year period. They were doing the study down to 18%. You know, secret is manhood. You put in a boy's head, a young person's head, what man is about. They straighten up. In other words, you want to be free, and what you have to do to be free and remain free. So what you're supposed to be doing as a man, you put that in your head and it starts making sense every morning when you look in the mirror and talk to yourself. You start asking questions. See, the other thing is most of the time, see, the criminal justice system ain't really about crime anymore. It's about controlling surplus labor. There are not enough jobs to go around because this is the only industrialized country in the world that has no program to keep the ordinary worker from being made obsolete by industrial technology and computerization. And not only does it not have a program to keep the worker from becoming obsolete, it doesn't do a damn thing about rehabilitating something that happened, and it's all up to this mythos of private enterprise, and that's about profit, not charity. So somebody's been working in the warehouse, somebody's business for 19 years, and trying to teach the nephew how to drive a forklift, and he gets a pink slip saying, buy something. You got screwed. Some new executive ought to be billionaires before they get to be 55, so you gotta go. You being downsized, of course, for profitability. Screw your mortgage, screw your savings, screw your insurance, your medical health care, what you put aside for vacation, what you supposed to be doing with your kids, and don't get too damn pissed off and play Timothy McVeigh, go buy $200 worth of fertilizer and blow up the courthouse in Oklahoma City.
Right.
And by the way, the fertilizer they're talking about is the most common in America. It's ammonium nitrate. It's the principal ingredient in 155 howitzer shells. It makes a great long pulse explosive. Mm-hmm. And you can buy it at any lawn and garden store in America. They talk about gun control, but you can really do some damage with some high explosive, like they say in the Army. Bullets kill a lot of people, but only high explosive kills enough. So they point out, and they sissy up, they're scared to go deal with the collateral damage being free, and then we have the criminal justice system that doesn't deal with crime anymore. It's going back to not getting Timothy McVeigh 2.0. So what you want to do is control surplus labor. If you put all these people out of work and not enough jobs to go around, what do you do with them? Well, you do the same thing. You get too much soy, beef, pork, poultry, whatever the hell it is, you cut back on everything you do. Cut back production, subsidize the would-be producer, store the surplus. You store the surplus in the jail cell instead of a grain silo. The cutback payment is the welfare check, and cutting back production is all the bullshit, whether you drop out, bang out, drug out, get knocked up too early, too often, don't get vocational skills, don't get any academic preparation, wrong way of looking at the world, wrong lifestyle, wrong ideation, dress wrong, don't understand how to deal with other people, piss everybody the fuck off with your body language, and get everybody going, and everybody has this death wish, and there's suicide by bullet, poison. Then there's the one that's socially acceptable by drugs. Oh my God, another person has been claimed by drugs in downtown Memphis area. And then there's suicide by cop, unrecognized as suicide by neighbor. Hey man, check it out, Stomp, watch this, man. Hey man, what you looking at? Talking to you, man, you in the blue. Don't you hear me talking to you? Who you, man? I'm me. What you looking at? I ain't looking at nothing. You call me a lie? Watch this, Stomp. See, man, what you doing? Man, I'll ask you a question, man. Don't move up on me like that, man. I do what I'm gonna do. No, you ain't. Bam, bam. See, fool got his ass killed because that's suicidal ideation. And the other thing is, you see, if you grow up with men around, And the way it used to work is you're 6 years old and you fuck with somebody 7, you get your ass whipped. Somebody at 5 messes with you, you slap them across the head. Somebody in your own grade, you got to fight it out, you learn. So by the time you get in the 12th grade, unless you want to really mess with somebody, you don't do certain things.
Right.
Partner, you trying to be disrespectful? No, Gregory, I meant no harm. Well, that said, have a nice day. And see, we shut up and you watch us and we escalate because ain't no man teaching us. Oh my God, we have to protect the children from being bullied and the faculty and the police and hell, they even forgot about, McFly, Back to the Future, yeah, all that. And they don't get it, so you get little punk asses growing up like the mammies, and they get 18, 19, 20, and they haven't got the shit knocked out of them 3 or 4 or 5 times in life, and then you watch them and say, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
You trying to start a war here? Man, we used to run the dozens for recreation, man. What's that? Hey, man, don't want to say nothing about your mama, man, but I was back, like when you was asleep the other night, man. Like, I know your dad at work, man, but I don't want to say nothing. You got a new baby brother or sister on the way, man. I don't know about your mama, man. At least somebody wanted your mama so ugly and fat, man. She can't get in the goddamn bathtub with 2 drops of water. That's why she stinks so bad, man. Don't nobody want to come near it, man. Oh, man. Well, my mama stank, man. Let me talk about your grandmama. She's so fucking... And see, everybody do that for recreation. Right. Let me talk about my mama. So what? I mean, what's the matter with you?
I kind of want to switch lines a bit just for a second and talk about keep it deep.
Okay.
Keep it dumb. That's what I want to call it, After 27 years, you've been talking about this case like you did this. Now that they finally convicted him or whatnot. Do you think about him getting convicted, him calling all the names and stuff that weren't really?
Who we talking about?
Keep it deep right now. The guy who supposedly had killed Tupac told on himself.
Well, homicide is kind of real. It is probably the hardest crime to solve of all since the main witness is dead, unless you run off at the mouth. And my business was you're presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't care what somebody says, otherwise I would not have got all not guilty verdicts on them. I think I tried 42 first-degree murder cases, death penalty demanded, and a whole bunch more as a defense lawyer. Not talking about it as a judge. And 9 times out of 10, if somebody kept their mouth shut, manned up and just kept their mouth shut, they wouldn't have a case on. But people talk. Now, when I was a judge, I had stupid idiots, 6 of them. They got busted for doing a drive-by, killed 4 people and wounded 5 more. And what these idiots did is they went and Xeroxed articles in Commercial Appeal, 200 copies, and autographed them. Yeah, we did. What's the matter? This Johnson woman, the Trump pardoned, she took the hits out on some folk, and there was somebody that used to arrange the hits. They never could get him to talk. They couldn't get her to talk, but they'd be trying. I had 6 people that got tied up on a contract murder that she supposed they allegedly took out. Somebody was trying to impress some woman, and she was a junkie, and she wanted to turn her situation around, so she turned him in. He got scared. He ran off at the mouth, told on everybody else. except for the person that took the hit out, the one that ordered the hit. Everybody else ran their mouth off. If they had kept their mouth shut, just like what's going on with the one that took the hit out, the one that arranged the hit, we know the names, what the details were, but under American law, you couldn't prosecute. Bottom line is you cannot convict somebody on the uncorroborated testimony of an accomplice. So they knew that, and they just said, I'm not saying any damn thing. So the rest of them just shot off at the mouth. And then the other side, they didn't even involve the police. They just went and investigated, found the body of one of them's mama that had been kidnapped. She's old fat woman. She liked donuts, so they kidnapped 3 folk working for Krispy Kreme and hijacked the Krispy Kreme truck and put the uniforms on, went by, and there was supposed to be a delivery of $3.8 million in cash at the safe house. So they got there half hour late, only got $35K. They had the pneumatic devices to dig up the concrete around the safe that was in the safe house. And the mama wanted the donuts, so she let them in. And they kidnapped her, and she wouldn't shut up, apparently, and they tortured her and left the body out in the field as a warning to the other side. So the other side wound up snatching 2 soldiers that worked for the one that took the hit out, and they got the 2 members of that posse and then kidnapped the mama for each one of them. So they tied the guys up and watched them, made them watch while they broke their mama's legs. And then they buried the mama and the son alive under one casket, and then buried the other one, her son alive under another casket.
Yeah, she is. Why did you just say cooperate? Somebody cooperate. What's the
corroborate?
Yeah, the lady, the DA in the case over the Trump case right now.
Which one?
What's her name? Fanning Willis.
I know her daddy. I went to school with him, and he was a radical. I don't want to talk about his daughter too badly, but the bottom line on that one is if you read the indictment, I downloaded it. It was 92 pages. The key to understanding what she did is she has as the felonious activity in several counts of the indictment that Trump supposedly ordered or requested that his followers read Newsmax. Like, what the hell's felonious about whatever in the hell you want to read in the United States? You know, so you read that, and what it obviously is some people that did not pay much attention to the first year of law school. And I was a law professor one time. I would have flunked them in con law. And an interesting little side has been consistent for the last half century. Less than 25% of all practicing lawyers and sitting judges have ever read the Constitution. So they study some aspects of it, but they're all about money, so they don't give a damn about the Constitution and what it says about people. So what it looks like is in 4 places, some folk decided to save the country from themselves by saying, we want to get rid of Trump so you can't get the chance to vote for him. So what she's accusing him of doing in Florida, I don't see anything wrong with what he did, even if everything she claims in the indictments are true. It's no crime. Find some more votes. I mean, goddamn, these are the same son of the bitches that are running around talking about you get to pick your own pronoun instead of dealing with what the English language says, where they want to talk about cis, that, and this and the other, and screw the language up, but you want to be holding somebody to precision. He said, find me some more votes. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Hell, I've done that on behalf of other folk myself over the years. I remember one time when Doc Harrington got elected the first time in 91, me and Judge James Swearingen got asked to be what they call election witnesses, which in Tennessee, you get a circuit court, chancery court, or criminal court judge, and you go over and observe. So this janitor came up and told us that the DVD or the CD where the votes were recorded electronically, he identified some people as having hid it in a drawer, pointed out where the drawer was. And the other folk that were trying to fix the election were claiming that they had lost the electronic record, but the paper record showed Doc losing by 92 votes. And I said, quote, I said, you know what, you, come over here. I sent my uniform bailiff over at Swearingen, did that too. I said, if we go over there and where we've been told the CD was hidden and we find it, somebody is going to get a $250,000 bond put on for election fraud. I said, find me some goddamn votes. And, oh, well, all of a sudden, yeah, it does come back. Yeah. So what's wrong with that? Somebody else says, find me some votes. That's supposed to be a crime? If you're into political science and American history, you know the number 3 on the list of most common complaints about anything is election fraud. Hell, in this county right here, for 2020, November, the Justice Department issued a report 2 days after the one they issued where they said there was no election fraud in the United States of any significance. They said, once again, Shelby County did not have a fair and adequate election because the voting machines were hacked. They put the money up in 2008 to replace them, and these bozos we put in office didn't come up with that, so that's supposed to be a crime? Hell no, that's what they've always done. Next thing, Bragg, the idiot that they've got up in New York, okay, he indicts Trump for supposedly trying to bribe Stormy Daniels so she wouldn't embarrass him. Well, any goddamn fool in the first year of law school knows that when you flip that, if you have to pay somebody a bribe to keep them from telling on you, that's blackmail. That's a felony. So the idiot indicts the victim of a blackmail attempt. You indict the felony victim. And then there's a gag order on the settlement that's encouraged by American law, whether there's any merit to it or not. And the gag order says you don't tell. So then you indict the corporate entity because they weren't specific in their disclosure about what the money paid out was for. Well, if they'd been specific, they would have violated the court order and been in trouble that way. So you indict somebody for following the law. This thing down in Florida, the records, confidential records, well, the case is United States Department of Navy versus Egan, E-G-A-N, 1988. And the Supreme Court said in its various concurring opinions that the President of the United States has the absolute authority under the Constitution to classify or declassify any document in whole, in part, in any form, shape, or fashion he chooses, de facto or actually. In other words, if he takes the boxes out of the goddamn White House when he's president, he just declassified them. That's his business. Because he's one under the Constitution, commander-in-chief, and even if all the generals say, we want to do this, since they're his subordinates, he can say, no, this is what we're going to do. And as chief diplomat under the Constitution, he can also declare anything he wants declassified in part or in whole. Why doesn't he give it to the archivist as the law requires? Well, that case is 220 years old. It's called Marbury versus Madison, where President Madison declined to follow this act of Congress, and the U.S. Supreme Court said he didn't have to because it was unconstitutional. So the act itself is on its face unconstitutional because it attempts to impose conditions on what is the president's absolute authority. They compare it to his authority and power to pardon or commute a sentence. In other words, if Congress passed a rule saying this is how you have to do it, then he could say, screw you, I don't feel like it. If he chose to do it the way he wanted to do it rather than the way Congress did it, there's not a damn thing they could do. So that's the same situation you got down there in Florida. But on the other hand, see, from what I had read back in November last year with those 3 laptops, not one, there's 3 of them. There was a thing I did with Fox on the moot court thing. They brought in the technician to give evidence on a moot trial, and he actually presented all the paperwork for the 3 laptops that were damaged because of liquid being spilled on them. And he had downloaded all of it, so we went through it. What is in there now shows that Biden, Hunter, and Joe were dealing with some Chinese officials, and they were being directed to go by the Biden home and look in the box behind the vet. And there's discussion in there. And what they're talking about is these secret documents that he took out of the archives or out of the record-keeping system as vice president and took to his home and put in these boxes. And you get this back and forth between Hunter and Dad, the big guy, and he's saying, yeah, they went by, found the document satisfactory. Joe Biden is going, there'll be more, you know, but the thing of it is he was only vice president. He doesn't have the authority to do that. So he violated the law, but nobody gives a damn about that because they just don't like Trump. Now, why don't they like Trump? Because Trump is wrecking their program to emasculate the whole damn country and install an official religion. And it's a cult. It's a quasi-religious cult. They adopt that, and what they're trying to do is make it the official state religion for the United States. Now, if you go to a government building, nobody better not hang a flag with a cross on it under the American flag. The Islamic crescent, better not put that under there. Better not show a picture of Buddha on a flag under the American flag. Or the Jewish star. Or Hindu 6-armed God under there. You better not, but you can put the rainbow flag for this cult. And like I've heard it explained by some of the gay folk, it's like being a good Christian does not mean you supported Reverend Jim Jones and serving Kool-Aid at large church picnics and got out. Right. Or if you're Islamic, doesn't mean you support Al-Qaeda or ISIS. So they don't like LGBTQ as a cult. They stay away from it. But they're trying to push that as a religion. Now, that translated into something else, this thing with reparations. Why is it that you can't get reparations? Well, I can't see any way that there is any avenue through the courts to get reparations. It would have to be an enablement and appropriations bill through Congress. Now, why don't you have all of these black representatives in the Congressional Black Caucus doing anything about it. Well, there's also a gay caucus in Congress. Yeah. And you look at the pictures of the gay caucus, and you look at the names, and you look at the pictures and the names of the black caucus, and it's almost every single member of the black caucus is in the gay caucus. And speaking of which, guess who is the Black Caucus's chairman of the Reparations Committee? The congressman for the 9th District here in Memphis, gay, white, Jewish, Steve Cohen. And he's a member of the Black Caucus, but he's chairman of the Reparations Committee. Now, does that lend any clue as to what the hell's going on? These Negroes have gotten in there and said, oh, we resigned. We're no longer going to be Black African American or whatever it is. We're something new now. We are a member of this new religious group. And that farce they had about 4 years ago where they spent 2 weeks in Congress debating and asking questions and having hearings on whether or not to have a study of reparations and that circus. Well, less than 10 days later, without debate on the first voice vote, they had the audacity, these Negroes, to unanimously support a bill labeled the Gay Reparations Act. Now, it wasn't that much money. It was just about insurance benefits, but it's open-ended, so there's no telling how much will get spent. But these same Negroes that are supposed to be representing black folk were not pushing reparations for black people, but turned around 2 weeks later and got the whole House and Senate on a voice vote, no discussion, to support a, quote, gay reparations bill. See how that goes now. What the hell do you think some youngster out in the streets gonna do? We talked about this, about following the damn law when the folk at the top are crooked. That's right. Now, how the hell are we supposed to get reparations when the head of the reparations committee for the Negroes that are supposed to be doing this is a gay white Jew? I mean, just think about it. Do you think they would have gay, black, something running affairs for a committee dealing with Jewish benefits? No. We always got to be the nice somebody off in the room, apologizing for everybody being too rowdy on the other side. Now, if we want something done about what's going on and what this organization or your thing is about, we need some people in the Black Caucus with all of these colored folks sitting up in the House. They haven't introduced a damn thing for us in 35 years. They just got that Emmett Till anti-lynch bill passed. Doesn't have a damn thing to do with lynching black folk. You don't need any more laws to protect for that shit. What it does do is, for the first time in American history, it puts sexual orientation in there as a cause. And now, when you think of lynching, you think of a mob, right? They killed somebody, right? Well, one, you don't need a mob anymore. It can be one person. Two, you don't need to kill anybody anymore. Kidnapping is included, and an ass whipping is included. So as long as somebody is claiming that they got the ass whooping because it was on their sexual orientation, the FBI can come in and prosecute for lynching. So dude breaks up with his old lady and he's feeling bad and he's at the club and there's what he thinks is a PYT and a tight dress and, the dude and, boobs, and they drinking and exchanging spit over in the shadows, and they ain't got a hard on to do something. What the hell, man? And busted in the jaw. Now that's federal lynching.
Federal lynching.
See, that tricknology. bait and switch. We got to let this bill. You damn fool, do you know what it is? You know, and now they have stuff in there where they want to make it an offense if some trans motherfucker comes up and talks about he wants to go out with you and you refuse to. That's supposed to be discrimination based on sexual. Motherfucker, what the hell's the matter with you? And the one I can't stand is, we need a hate crime bill to protect black folk. Bust the motherfucker in the mouth if he sits there and ranks you out too. That's fighting words, fool. What's the matter with you? You come up with a hate crime? Well, the thing about hate crimes is under American law, there's this thing called equal protection. So if it's supposed to be benefiting you, they can flip the script, and in 10 years, they're coming to go get your behind. I mean, how many times do we talk about folk, you know, with the motherfucker attached to the end of the description, you know? I mean, all of us be up under the jail, you know? So what do we want this for? It's because they have some weak Negroes that want to convert everybody else who doesn't think about it into a weak Negro. And man, bust the motherfucker in his jaw. That's fighting words. I couldn't help myself. I just saw red. I don't remember anything until I looked down and he was on the ground. You know? So
excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I switch lanes. How do you think, I'm going to go back to the crack era.
Yeah.
What started the crack era? And are we still feeling the effects from that era now?
Here's what happened. Back in the 60s, when nobody thought cocaine was going to be addictive or anything like that, you'd go to a party, certain kinds of parties. There might be a dining room table this size, and in each corner they got $5,000 worth of coke piled up on the table. Anybody walk in, snort up all you want. If you took 100 folk, 95 of them would say, man, what the fuck is that shit, man? You feel like your sinuses are stopped up, man. You got a 3-minute eye for that much money. And what was happening was Benzedrine. And the Nam, which was hot and heavy then, every day when you got your rations, you got 2 bennies in there. And what was supposed to happen is you got caught out behind in front of the wire, and you couldn't get back, so you didn't go to sleep and get killed. You pop a benny and you good to go for the next 30-some hours. So you had 2 in your rations kit, 365 days worth of rations. That's 700-some bennies. And you sell them for $5 each. And in 1968, 69 money, that's some significant money when you bring your ass back to the States. So the students and everybody were buying bennies for $5 a hit to stay awake for finals and stuff like that. And you get 5 times the high that you get from coke from 1 benny, and instead of it being 3 to 5 minutes and the stuff he knows, you'd be able to cram for your finals and midterms, you know, and you get the thing going for 30 hours. So nobody gave a damn about coke. Okay, coke's dead. All right. It's just an exotic thing. Hell, Queen Elizabeth, King Edward VII used to snort the shit. If you read Sherlock Holmes, he's always snorted when he is bored, and Jekyll and Hyde, that magic formula that he was drinking, that was just liquid cocaine he was chugging down. It went from Dr. Jekyll to fiend Mr. Hyde. All right, now, what happens in the late 60s is this. You have color television, and it's beginning to be perfected. When they first came out with them up until the late 60s, they were a round screen about this big. And then they started making them square. They learned the technology, and color TV was driving the movie industry bankrupt. Every Thursday and every Sunday, every movie house in America had 2 new movies with 3 cartoons and a sub feature. You spent 50 cents admission as an adult. You walked in anytime you want, sat through the part of the movie that was going on, watched the cartoon, saw the second feature, and sat through what you missed, or just sat through the whole damn thing again, your option. Well, that meant they were having to make 200 some movies a year, and they were going broke. So somebody came up with the bright idea, look, let's do something different. Instead of just whatever the movie is every Thursday and Sunday, you have to come up with 4 of them per week. Let's just take one movie and play it as long as people will come to it. And instead of 50 cents, we charge $1.50, which is like $45 a ticket now. And well, who's going to come in and do it? We know who. These colored folk. They crave to see themselves. Well, okay, you think they'll come? Yes, but we've got a secret. Instead of doing it where we try to boost them, we can keep them from being a problem. And we also will appeal to the lowest common denominator. So the first movie they did like that was Black Caesar, starring Fred the Hammer Williams. He was a football player. And the hero was a drug dealer who was also a hitman. So I remember me and some friends, we went and saw it, about 8 or 9 of us. We walked out of that movie and said, Danielle, we just get through looking at it. We just got through going through the thing, man, where we set it up ourselves. We were looking at Battle of Algiers. And they were giving the dope man 2 weeks to clean up, or they were putting him on the wall and gunning him down. What the hell is this about them selling, the drugs? And, this dude rides off as the sun's coming up in the limo smoking a big cigar. And where the hell was LAPD, man? Like, damn, they didn't come. Yeah. And they got 40 motherfuckers laying out there on the warehouse floor. Man, what is this? Where are they going with this? 18 months or so later, they had Superfly, where they got to talking about that coke. Everybody was coming out, damn, I'm gonna sell something. That coke, man, that's some money, man. And again, he's the hero. Freddie is dead, but Freddie was a junkie. So who gave a damn? Back then, they were looking at it different. You want to deal with a junkie, get that motherfucker all of his favorite dope, let him OD, get rid of it so he doesn't burglarize your apartment or your house anymore, and nobody has to worry about it but the family. I mean, that's the way people used to think. The norm was going on, so everybody knew somebody they went to high school with, or a brother, sister, nephew, or uncle, or whatever. Folk were dying all the time. So, what it was. So, the attitude was different, but they started propagandizing the negative. And then they came up with this crap with Pam Grier. She's a good looking woman. But what was it? Foxy Brown?
Foxy Brown.
Or brother gets done in by the dope men, so she's gonna go get revenge. And then the next movie that they had of that kind of thing, it would slightly change over. So instead of getting revenge for doing it, the brother was the dope man, so she wants to be the dope man, dope woman. And then you got Pam Grier. Every damn time she got knocked down in Foxy Brown and everything after, if you work in a town like Memphis where you couldn't see it, she one or both titties get knocked out every damn time. She'd get knocked down 6 or 7 times in the movie. Her pussy would flash. And they had 5 or 6 naked white girls that would be walking through the living room while everybody was trying to front off they had business and dripping wet with a towel over their shoulders. So they started doing this propaganda thing where they started putting this negative out there. So they knew since the turn of the 20th century, the kids all over the world looked to movies to determine what it was to be cool. Whether you're in Japan, Germany, Russia, US, Italy, it didn't make any difference. So they started putting this negative shit out there. Now, where did it come from? Well, in the late 60s, you had a coalition that developed. There were those who hated that they weren't men, those were the feminists. Those who hated men generally, that was some of the lesbians. Those that hated that they weren't strong men, those were the soy boys. Those that hated that they weren't normal men, those were some of the gay boys. And that group was there, but they didn't have as much influence until you got this anti-war group that believed that war was a man thing. So you had to feminize men to get rid of war. Oh man, it's all about love, man. Love, man. Make love, not war, man. We gotta get rid of this man thing, man. It makes us mean and violent, man. Like, what the? You ever see any Cheech and Chong stuff Up in Smoke? That shit was real. I knew something like that, man. Straight up, man. And I knew some of those folks, man. I would run into them. Oh, man, it's the first smoke, man. Hey, man, you got any roaches, man? That's even better than fresh dope, man. You know, and see, they went where they went, and there was a big thing about people doing stuff in mass. What is it? This January 6th bullshit, 180 people? Man, that ain't quiet. That wasn't even a damn disturbance, man. You talk DC, you got 18,000 folk climbing around, man. 1,800 was a minor disturbance. And then you had stuff like, there was the Watts riots in LA at 65, the stuff in Chicago and New York. And I can remember, man, I'm standing in LA and I was on this slight hill and I do this 360 spin, man, and you can't even see the sky for the smoke all around in the flames. They had to call out a whole division, man, 15,000 folk to put that down. LAPD ran to tie the ass up out of there.
Yeah.
And back then, man, LAPD, you ain't seen no police like that.
Beating your ass.
Oh, that excuse. Man, what you want? Your papers, please. What you mean papers, man? You like a driver's license? Man, I ain't got I'm walking, man. I got my driver's license. Come me that. Your papers. Fritz, he does not have his papers. Gott on Himmel. Fritz, no papers? Oh man, what you want, man? Life was about to get very difficult past that point. Oh man, what happened to dude, man? Oh man, he made the fatal 30. Everybody in LA, Chicago, and New York knew what the fatal 30 was. He made a move, Your Honor, as though to go under his coat to retrieve a weapon. And Officer Thompson and I opened up with our service revolvers and we each shot him 6 times. He was still moving and looked to be capable of continuing his criminal activity. Therefore, we each reloaded and shot him 6 more times. You know, like serious shit. Stuff I look at now, it's like, damn, that ain't about nothing. I remember one time standing on somebody's front porch and this guy drove up in a brand new Oldsmobile 442. He just got it off the dealer's lot. He's bragging about it. Some drunk was driving down the street and sideswiped about 5 or 6 cars, including his brand new Oldsmobile, ran into a phone pole and got staggered out and collapsed drunk on the hood. So they called LAPD. LAPD does not show up. Half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, no LAPD. So somebody got to calling again. 5 or 6 people called. So they sent the squad car out there, 2 people. Then a sergeant came in another car. So he's going, gentlemen, what seems to be the problem? Well, man, this John folk, man, he's still over there, man. What you gonna do, man? He wrecked 5 or 6 cars on this block. Well, it's just a driving problem. We've got more important things to do. Man, I just got this new car. What the hell, man? You done messed up my car. Oh, you want something to get upset about. I tell you what. I just pulled his pistol out, revolver, jammed it in the guy's left shoulder and shot it. Bam! Now you got something to be upset about. Damn. I said, come on, guys, let's go. So they left him. So we had to take him to the emergency room. That's how they used to roll. If you think you got a problem with police now, oh, man. See, we all used to do community patrols back then. Black Student Union, Black Student Alliance, brothers out on the block, man, you know, Panther Party, the Nation, you know, they weren't supposed to do that, but some of them did anyway. And we'd be rolling 4 or 5 deep in those old cars, you know, with shotguns and carbines. And it was not against the law to have a loaded long gun in public. So, see the police, you roll up 50 yards behind them, you know, everybody get out and stand out, and nothing happening, everything's going on cool, you know, about your business. Those folk up in the Bay Area chapter of the Panther Party started talking about they were going to go in and demonstrate, and a bunch of us in Southern California going to demonstrate about what? Well, man,
Huey him?
Yeah, Huey. And Huey's ass actually wasn't even the strong one pushing this stuff. Don't do that shit, man. What you grandstanding for? See, they wanted to raise money. And the Panther Party never was being in that racist stuff because they had white Panthers that would raise money and they had all these white lawyers that would represent them for free. And we said, man, do not do that shit. But they went and did that at what we call with adventuristic bullshit. And they went off in there, and within 2 weeks, they passed a law that Reagan signed into effect outlawing carrying loaded guns. So now when you rolled up on the police, they'd call, you know, and there's shootouts and folks start dying when they were trying to enforce public safety, thanks to that adventuristic bullshit. But now everybody says, oh, wow, you know, the real live revolutionary brothers. No, that was what we call counter-revolutionary because they had no purpose. What are you going to do? So, yeah, they got attacked, and now everybody reads it the wrong way because people that don't know what the hell was going on put it out there the wrong way. But see, that stuff where you got glorification of dysfunction through Hollywood, and everybody started trying to emulate what they were looking at. You started getting these adventuristic folks that just, instead of dealing with slow, steady, getting it together, they had personal egos they wanted to advance in causes, and you started running into this thing we call pimping the movement or pimping the revolution, where you get these folk, just like they got a bunch of them in Memphis, probably more than anywhere else in the country, where it's all about them getting money and everybody else going to hell. See, in other words, you're not even doing it the old time way. Who besides you is getting crap out of this? Like right now, they got this shit doing $350 million that Channel 5 said was to improve stadiums. That's bullshit. It's all going to FedEx so they can put skyboxes in that FedEx Forum. We got potholes all over here, kids needing summer jobs, all kinds of shit needs to be fixed. Memphis like gas and water so damn decrepit that if your dog pisses on the sidewalk, the damn thing breaks down for 3 days. You know, and they want to spend $350 million on some skyboxes. And then there's Doc got a damn thing down there where he got 20-some acres centered on that old Greyhound bus depot that they tore down right behind the Peabody. Now, can you imagine getting 20-some acres in downtown anybody's city for just $600,000 Hell no, that's what they got. And then Paul Young, who won, he was Strickland's flunky for 6 years, worked with him, and then he appointed him over to Downtown Development Company. So Downtown Development has secured $200 million plus to take that 25 acres and build 28 luxury units for folk to live in it, surrounded by some upscale boutiques with restricted admission to it. And then they got a thing in front of city council right now to make downtown parking more restrictive, so it's limited just to people who have property down there or work or live down there, so it becomes a gated community. Meanwhile, that ain't enough. $200 more million of city money is to go to help out the hotel downtown renovate, because as Young said, he wants to improve the city skyline. So what are they doing? And then Strickland's got a thing, $710 million to convert the Liberty Bowl into a soccer arena. I mean, damn, what the hell's going on? Oh, how about Bonner and Turner and Young talking smack about they want to make Memphis a sanctuary city? Guess who gets attracted to the sanctuary city? We got enough problems getting jobs and money and all the rest of the crap. It goes, and look what's happening in Chicago and New York, and they want to duplicate that mess here? All right, so the $710 million goes to change the Liberty Bowl to a soccer arena. What do you do for football? Well, they've got a scam going for $3.5 billion to build a new football arena, stadium.
Tigers,
occasional game by Tennessee Titans. And we have all these problems that aren't like being fixed. You see, what time is this? This thing with Blue Oval. See, Blue Oval's interesting. They've got a long-term plan for that, and what they want to do is right now bankrupt Memphis by having it pay for these long-term infrastructure things that are luxury infrastructure devices. They want to gentrify the whole city. So what they're doing is this. Ford is advertising that they're going to hire 27,500 line employees and about 1,500 people on the executive level. So that's almost 29,000 people. Now, they don't want the folk from Memphis. They want to bring them in from elsewhere because they've got a problem with some union stuff and people getting displaced other locales. So they want to come to Tennessee where they can't be union, and the union's fucked up by endorsing some people that are anti-union that are assuring Ford that they'll be able to get in here without unionization. Now, what are they doing? Well, if you're bringing people in from outside, that means, according to the Labor Department data, that means 3 point something for each employee. So there you're talking about 100-some thousand people coming into the Blue Oval. But then you have to have Malco, Mickey D's, Walgreens, CVS, Kroger, and all this other stuff. You're talking about 250,000 people. So that would be a town. Now, that would be in Fayette County, tripping over into Tipton County. So what you do is think Atlanta, where you have at least 3 counties that meet up in Atlanta, or Miami, where you have the same thing. Several counties are involved in one urban area. So they want to put Blue Oval in with Memphis and expand it to multiple counties, so we will have an urban area of about 2.5 million people very quickly. Here's the catch. Memphis White Gas and Water breaks down a lot as it is. Now, in 1997, we passed a resolution saying Memphis Light Gas and Water cannot sign any more contracts providing services outside of the county. Well, Mason had a contract that predated 97, so they still use it. And and they have a sewage input in a water outlet for Mason, which is just 5,200 people. Now, what they're trying to do is Van Turner pulled off a scam with them. He jumps in and says, I'm president of the NAACP. We're going to help you. They gave him full discretion. So they had sued the state comptroller and the state for damages. And Turner concedes the lawsuit to the defendants, the comptroller, and also as part of the thing agrees that Mason's going to pay off the debt load they have as a result of 20 years of stealing, not by the people that lived there so much as the white folk that were running the town. So that means they lose their city charter, but the county would absorb that agreement that they have with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. And it would cost us several $1 billion to upgrade that sewage system to handle the input, not from 5,200 people, but from 250,000 people. So we'd get stuck with that tab. You see, that's how this shit works down. Now, why is that important about electric cars in Memphis? Well, California just passed a couple of years ago saying that no new cars will be sold in California, which is one of the largest markets in the world after 2032 that aren't all electric. So what happens is that would be the only place Ford Motor Company is going to be making electric cars is right up there, but we get no play on that. The other thing too is Cadillac's talking about getting in here, so that would ramp it up to 500,000 people in this new town, which when you put that in, we're talking a big city, major city in the United States, and all of that money that comes in with that. But they aren't thinking about what could be done with that, about taking barge traffic and the world's largest barge loading and unloading facility is right here in Memphis, President's Island. See all of the jobs on the dock that folk could get where you don't need any heavyweight, vocational skills. Is tote fetch, get the hooking load, and you can learn to work the machinery. We lose all of that. Also, the thing Europe is trying to get back in here and load barges up in Europe, put them on transports, get them to New Orleans, drop the hatch, float them up here, and we could bring all that international trade in here rather than going to New York, New Jersey, Boston, Baltimore, whatever. But we lose out on all that shit because these selfish son of a bitches want to steal. All right, now, main thing too is what are you going to do with the youth? Now, remember when we were over there on Tate Street the last time? Judge, don't go down there.
He told me that. He told me this.
Why not?
Right.
Well, you shouldn't go down there. I went down there anyway. It was some Crips. So the thing that got me about it was that a weak-ass handshake they were giving me. I told one dude, I said, man, I've had a 49-year-old girl shake my hand more vigorously than that. And then I said, and by the way, y'all Crips, right? Yeah, man, we said, Tookie would have crushed your goddamn hand. What you know about Tookie? He used to work for me when he was 14 years old. Say, yeah, we ran a playground, me and Cliff Stewart and Ron Chappelle. And he worked for us. He was a student volunteer, and we pay him money to run our jobs. You know Tookie? Yeah, I know him. Hell yes. So that kind of cleared the air. But the other thing, what happened the next morning? Less than from here to that wall, they shot somebody in the head 3 times and killed him where we were standing. Right. See, but who's going to go down there and deal with that shit? Right. See, none of these little punk-ass, boule Negroes can handle it. And that's what I've been hearing from the street brothers. It's like, man, there ain't no power out there. It's like used to be, man, even if it was politics, you could fit into the organization and you move on up and you get power, man. But ain't nobody but some punks out there. They can't deal with us and ain't nobody in control. So you have that problem. The other goddamn thing is like, okay, Memphis is a mafia town. Used to be the place the mob retired. They launder money through here. Lansky brothers, remember them? Lansky brothers are dead, but they were Lucky Luciano's homeboy's nephew, Meyer Lansky. See, Memphis used to be where folk retired. We had the second largest synagogue in the world here in Memphis, out there in North Memphis. I almost bought it one damn time. I was going to convert it to something until I found out the air conditioning bill was $10,000 for 2 days worth of air. I said, oh, hell no. God damn. That's what they be front of. Oh, shit. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. This place could be a great thing. You don't have Beale Street rationalized. You got a scam going on where they bribe the city council and the county commission for zoning variance. And when they get the zoning variance, okay, they got plans for something to build, some structure that nobody needs, won't have a use for, but the city will pay out the money and they get paid to build it, supply the material. And then we get $85 million pyramid at 1980 money down there that they give away for $1 goddamn dollar a year to Bass Pro, which is one of the most racist employers in the whole of the United States of America.
Really?
Yeah, man, they had a record for having more EEO complaints and settlements against them than any other business in the United States. If you go down here on Sycamore and I-40, they may have changed, but the last time I went through there a couple of years ago, they had the same 2 black employees they've had for years, 2 and only 2. One's a janitor and one's a maid.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, would you be in this court system, judicial system, most about part of your life? This platform is about federal, like you started off. What do you think? What do you think these young, what is it that these boys, you see me in and out of prison? What do you think is the remedy? What do you think?
Well, I was touching on it. It's this. The whole damn thing with the criminal justice center and the pipeline from the schoolhouse to the jailhouse is because these sons of bitches will not come up with a rationalized program to deal with what computerization and industrial technology does to the ordinary worker. So this whole damn thing is to get rid of surplus labor. You get a lot of money made off of feeding, clothing, sheltering, transporting, mining to securing, and other stuff. The problem is that combined with Hollywood with a glorified dysfunction, ain't nobody supposed to do any hard work. Ain't nobody supposed to have work ethic. Ain't nobody supposed to have principle. And if you want to do something about the insanity, which goes to the name, you got to do something about this. If you take a human, and we've been around since the Ice Age, it's been thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, and we all work well when we under pressure, and you got something that you can focus on. So when you start teaching these young men to not focus, to play girl, it does not work. I was out at Wolf Chase Mall a couple of weeks ago, and this grown man begging for me, baby, please, you know I really want that. Can't you get that for me? No, I don't think you ain't been that. Baby, you know I'm gonna do better. What the hell is this crap? See, if we do this, and we've got a system in place where take your daughter to work week. You've had that for 50 years. What about take your son to work week? You got statistics. I say it all the time. For the last 20-some years, on average, only 28% of each year's high school graduates are male. And that's for everybody. That's just not for us. Only 32% of the college undergrads are male, only 36% of the college grad students are male, and only 44% of the workforce is male. The devil is that? And you got a Democratic Party talking about we have to improve the lot of black women. And so, okay, nice, but what about the black boys that would like to be men and whatever? Screw them. And last I checked, girls aren't doing too many damn drive-bys, are they? Or am I a little bit informed? I mean, they've been playing Gorilla up the ass these days, you know, all battling and getting crazy, but you know, that's where we have this problem where so many of our youth are taught unmanly shit. And you have to have seen it to really understand it when you look at the development. Okay, gangster rap video. It's big all over the world because the same problem is spread to the rest of the world. You got a bunch of young males that don't see any purpose. They want to see something masculine, so you get gangster rap. But what you're looking at is not black man. You're not looking at man shit. You're looking at some bitch shit. You're listening to somebody who's trying to be street cred wise or whatever he's doing, and what he's giving is what his 14-year-old sister, favorite aunt would have been saying when he was 8 years old about how she's supposed to deal with it. Live off the opposite sex. Yeah, man, I got 4 bitches who take good care of me, man. 2 of them got good JOBs, one get a crazy check, one get AFDC. What the hell's wrong with you? A man's about pimping. Fuck pimping. Pimping the problem is some of the lowest scoundrels on the goddamn planet. Pimps ain't shit. You gotta be a sick motherfucker to be a good pimp. And then the hoes hate themselves, man, about bitches and hoes and pimping, man. Like, goddamn, fool. No goddamn wonder we don't get shit. That's how you ideate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, excuse my language, but it is what it is. And I ain't running for office any goddamn more. Fuck this shit. I say what I want. I grew up in South Central LA. Yeah. Fuck this shit. Punk ass motherfuckers running around fucking every goddamn thing up. Excuse me, let me say this. Those who are improperly oriented toward their masculine duties and responsibilities are really corrupting the process for all of the rest of us who seek to acquire this kind of outlook on life, responsibility, obligation, and accountability. Yeah, you can go there too. But you see, it's the bottom line. What in the hell? Ask the young man what he's supposed to be for. Man, I'm gonna be dead before I'm 25, man. Yeah. The hell is that? I mean, you want to hear something really revolting? After the goddamn Civil War was over, General Grant did a survey of the Union Army. The whole Union Army. The only completely literate units in the Union Army were colored volunteers. He said he was amazed, and then he said, well, come to think of it, he said, I never talked to one of my commanders, or I never observed myself black troops getting drunk. They were always studying, learning their math, writing letters, and reading. So what the hell happened to us? That ideation shit, Hollywood, man, about pimping. You know, now instead of the brother having this game going on, you know, you got, what is it, Empire? You got a motherfucker that's sitting up there crooked as hell, and they glorify that bullshit. You got Pussy Valley, where they got some trans freak sitting up there. He wants to suck all the customers' dick, you know. You know, and I used to represent a lot of hoes and dancers that came out of where P-Valley is, and that's a glorification. It didn't work that way.
Right.
You know, so you sit there and you look at that, and then you got Atlanta housewife. And most of these fools they have running stuff right now, they would love to audition for a continuing position with Atlanta Housewives next time they do a continuing scene. Those. And see, it's the jailhouse coming from the schoolhouse, coming from the television, coming from the DVD, coming from these sons of bitches, and every goddamn thing is trying to tell folk how to fuck your dumb ass up. Talking about success, but being successful and fucking yourself over. See, that's what it is. And everybody gets a participation ribbon. Motherfucker, you ain't done shit but show up. What's your goddamn point? You know, I want my participation ribbon. The hell, life don't work on a participation ribbon. Well, things ought to be fair. Motherfucker, life ain't fair. You just got through eating a hamburger in front of me. Do you think it was fair to the goddamn cow that you eating his ass? Hell no. Say, fuck this shit. You done lost your goddamn mind. I'm a master diver. I'm a PADI certified master diver. Right. I was on this expedition and there was this killer whale male and they're distinctively marked, so once you know what you're looking at, you can recall. I saw this sucker kill 3 dolphins. I was watching, and then he got up on the boat and it heeled over and he looking at everybody. All right, my dumb ass, 3 weeks later, down at 80 feet, I'm counting fish for, at this fish sanctuary, and I feel the pressure wave right where that goddamn bumper is the eye for this orca, and he's sitting there looking at me. I'm going, oh shit, am I gonna be whale shit on the bottom of the fucking ocean? Goddamn. And I just had a flash. I said, all these motherfuckers talking about life is supposed to be fair. Is this motherfucker hungry? Cause goddamn, dude, I hope you just ate. Hey. And then I started thinking, well, there have been no confirmed reports of him eating somebody in the open ocean. Somebody, you ain't no freak now. You okay, man. You're cool, all right. See what we look like up close and personal, So he swam back to the boat with me, but oh yeah, did you see the orca, man? I was down there. Oh man, that must have been exciting. Yeah, it was, actually. After it's over, I wouldn't trade the experience. But do you think that motherfucker's being fair to me? He was just curious. What is one of these things? I was on the boat 3 weeks ago taking a look at it. Now, let me see up close personal. Yeah. Like, shit.
So, what's your plans for after the mail break?
Nah, it's over.
So
it's over.
What you got going for?
I'm an old man. I'm just spreading what I got. I'm 76 years old. I'm still back pussy, but I am what I am. Yeah. By the way, young folk do not know how to get pussy.
What happened?
We gotta teach y'all how to get laid.
You gotta tell them.
God damn! I listened. I said, that ain't how you do it. That ain't how you do it. And then, by the way, I don't care what you think. You gonna pay for it one way or the other. One way or the other. And since day one, since Allie was swinging a club, that's something saber-tooth, women have been trying to figure out how they could get somebody to make their life easier, better, safer, and everything else. Keep that in mind. And we used to joke, in one way, joke again, that dude don't know how to get that pussy wet, man. Say nothing get a pussy wet like some chick gets saved from something. They be getting wet motherfucker. You know? Oh, man, we used to look at some of these action adventure movies. Yeah, man, I bet that pussy wet after she got saved on that. Yeah, man. You know? And we run around talking about, bitch, what you gonna do for me? No, that's not how you do it. Right. So, yeah. And I don't care what they say. They don't believe this bullshit they get told. They get, what do they call it? Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
You know, we get told this shit and don't believe it. What they want is a man. You see, you know where it really is. You got some woman, she's doing well in life, and she's on the second floor of her condo. She's drinking a glass of Chablis, reading this novel, and she's really self-satisfied because they picked her to deliver the presentation at 9 o'clock to all of the executives in the boardroom tomorrow. So she says, I better get some sleep. So she turns the light out, leaves the half full glass of Chablis there, puts a bookmarker in the novel and puts it on the desk, and she is really happy and fantasizing about how well she's going to do with the presentation, a little nervous. She drops off to sleep. By 2:17 a.m., there's a crash of breaking glass downstairs. Now, does she want to take her ass down there and see what broke the glass, or does she wish there was some competent dude, baby? Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Or does she want one of those who'll be hiding under the bed? Baby, you better go down there and see what that is. It might be dangerous. See, that's where it all hits the fan. Like, is this what you want? Hell no. Nobody told you about this bullshit. See, you went for it. And we go for it. We fall into it. And, you know, we get some punk motherfuckers like that fool did to me at the Pocket. I'd like to apologize to the woman for Judge Joe Brown's remark. I said, motherfucker, I'm going to bust you in your mouth. Say that again. What did you say? You heard me. Are you threatening me? Yes. Like that. Yeah. See, you got to man up and you got to insist on it. And everything you read should not be black. If you could ever get a copy of it, get Mao's Red Book, the quotations of Chairman Mao, and he says something in there, says, whenever you encounter incorrectness, no matter who is responsible, where it is, even if it's otherwise impolite, correct it. Says you must stop wrong ideas because wrong ideas spread if they are not countered. He even talks about propaganda. Tell a lie long enough, loud enough, you can get anybody to believe it. He touches on that, but the Nazis knew that. And you see, tell a lie long enough, loud enough, you can get anybody to believe it, even a liar. And after a while, when you get too much of this stuff, you see you get the wrong thing going. We ideate, we talk, and we brag, and we boast about dysfunction these days. There's a thing called courtesy. Africa has courtesy and politeness. Warriors were courteous and polite. What do? Hey, man, stop, man. You fuck Talladega, man. You in a restaurant, you yelling across the parking lot, and there are children in there like, what's wrong with you? What you mean, man? Oh, your voice, man. You have to say that. Oh, man, I'm just fucking these bitches, man. Ain't shit, man. What's the matter with you? Damn. But You know, life can be fun, man, but hey, it's adversity. You can deal with it.
Yeah.
And see, the other thing is, too, this is a secret. If somebody's giving you something, 9 times out of 10, they don't have pure motives when they're giving it to you. So why do we always ask somebody to give us something, whether it's the woman, whether it's the sister? If they're giving it to you, they ain't got good intentions. And half these women, see, they are scared of men. They hate us. They hate their sons because the sons are going to grow up into what they hate. So what they train the boys to be is what they look for. They look for somebody that they can take home and adopt as a stand-in son, have sex with them, commit incest with them, pay for them, and have what the white girls call a boy toy. Like one sister said, something I was reading, she said, thugs are fun. Thugs are usually broke, so you pick up the tab. But remember, you write the check so you can call the shots. They're so exciting when you can cut them off. Yeah, man, I got to take care of me, man. You know, I live off them witches, man, you know. Really? They're playing with you, man. And see, when you start thinking, let me break it down even further. When you start thinking about pussy, and you want you some pussy, and you figure out what you got to get inside your head and how you got to get what you do going to get the pussy, that gets you acting pretty right, because, you know, you ain't going to get that kind of pussy that you really want with you fucking up. And by the way, beautiful women are easier to talk to than plain ones. Beautiful women actually got something to look at when they look in the mirror. They get nervous about it. They get insecure about it. But then you get those little plastic James, Tawana James, you know, and to get on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and they think they're so fine. And you go, really? Yeah. The latest one, remember the one that was locked the Indian guy out of his car while she's talking about, in my first date, he want to take me to
Papado?
No, to Cheesecake Factory. I ain't going to no chain restaurant. Hell, I bet your ass will take your behind up Ruth Chris. Yeah. You know, and what the hell wrong with Cheesecake Factory?
Cheesecake Factory got a variety.
Yeah, and then you can go to the big ones, the Luxors. They got like they used to have at the Beverly Center out in L.A. Now they moved downtown to another place. Or hell, you can go to Pacific Dining Car, and the tab's gonna be a whole lot of $100 bills if you get up in there. You can't. Look, if you don't look like you need to be taken up in there anyway, you look like you've been eating too much cheesecake in the first damn place. You know?
Yeah. So tell me about your barbecue sauce.
Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor.
Law firms will take this as a retainer.
What? It must be a law firm where they hungry as hell. Now you gonna help me with this parole I'm dealing with?
Oh, yeah. JJB. BBQ.com.
Okay. Said to be in Kroger.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish is an investor. A chef I've been collaborating with. I made this stuff for 40 years, but it wasn't too healthy for you. Now it is. You get the whole food. He's Beyonce's personal chef. We've got a lot of good brothers working on it. We've got the place that does the chicken links is the only USDA certified black meat packing plant, California. They operate out of Compton. We got a sister that we collaborate with. She got a distillery, and that's some smooth shit, man. That's some good bourbon, and she fine on top of it. Hey, yeah. It's one thing you got to deal with somebody that's trying to perpetrate man or woman, but see, somebody lied to them. You know, we do objectify beauty. If we didn't, we'd still be looking like chimpanzees and stuff. What we do right now.
Right.
Like, hey, rule, young man, don't put your dick in nothing. You don't mind getting caught with your best friends walking down Main Street at high noon in broad daylight when there ain't no clouds in the sky. Do not deal with anything you need a double paper bag over the head with. See, this is the thing. Forget all this stuff that you've been told. Start examining what you feel, and then start reading some old time stuff and see if it matches up. Here's a rule. Truth has no face but truth itself. Teach your kids how to make this shit. You know, I hate to get on people who say, you know, we need to go separate, we need farms, we grow fruits and vegetables and all of this. Humans, since the last ice age, have been trying to get together for trade, you know, exchange, all of this. So what the hell makes you think this stuff is all of a sudden gonna stop? You're gonna be able to farm somebody, and who's gonna give you the land? And how are you gonna protect it? Because humans don't give a fuck if they can get away with it for the most part. They'll take it. The old saying is, might makes right. The right of conquest. See, study these white folks sometimes. Lord Bullington, are you satisfied that Saul John has given you satisfaction, sir? Well, what the hell does that mean? He looks like he's some fat asshole, but remember, he got that way because somebody was the equivalent of a badass mafia dog. Except instead of guns, they used swords, axes, and spears, and were taking each other's heads off. You talking about some badasses. I met some billionaire white folk. The interesting thing about it is once you get to know them and get to talking, they have all these family members that did federal time for crimes. They talk about it like who murdered who and how many bodies somebody is responsible for. It's ruthless folk. We sit around here and we get jacked around before we know it for trifling shit that helps the other folk out. See, America does not work without crime. One is that thing about the labor market being glutted, and the other thing is it's a lot easier to do politics when somebody's worried about getting ripped off walking from the carport to the front door than if he's got time to pay attention to what's going on. So get him distracted. The country would not be what it was if it were not for crime. So you think you pulling off something slick, you actually are doing what somebody wants you to do.
Yeah.
say, no, yeah, that's one of the things I do to get people to start straightening up. Reverse psychology. I counsel everybody I put on probation. We'd have these quiet sessions in a room like this. You know, no back tape, nothing. I'd like to thank all of you for good work. Oh, Judge, you mean down there straighten up? Hell no, fool. I'm talking about your criminality. We need you to keep that up. Thank you. What you mean? Like, man, I just got to talking to the state legislative body about we judges have so much work, we need a raise. And that bailiff that clowns around, he made $180,000 last year with overtime. Ralph, come in here. How much you make last year? $183,000. God damn. You know, and you know you pay the hell out of everything. Your mama, your grandmama to that bondsman. You know, everybody up in here making money out of your ass. And that ain't even the big money. Like right down here at 201 Poplar, this one particular year, somebody netted $1.25 million for selling toilet paper to somebody to wipe their ass with. $3.34 million for cooking oil down there at 201 Poplar. This is back for 94. That phone system that the taxpayers paid for, you know, it was $1.25 to receive the call, collect 80 cents a minute for the first 4 months. Then it went to $1.25. The guy's net for the year was $92 million.
Off the phone.
Off phone, $92 million. And then the next year was $112 million because it went up to $1.25 every month. And he was supposed to pay 4% to the county, but he wound up paying nothing because his accountants would always zero it out. You make big money on it, dumbass. So everybody making money, the other ass sitting down there getting fucked over. And you don't get it. So since you found out, don't get fucked over. And a whole lot of people commit crimes. It's just the way they do it. Just like, for example, I met somebody that was very highly placed in a certain medical organization. And damn everybody in the room had made their bones one way or the other. Everybody had on a suit and tie. So why they have on a suit and tie? It's urban camouflage. Cops gonna have a whole hard time talking about establishing probable cause. You got a briefcase and a suit and tie on. Well, what did they do? But you walk around there, you know, flash pants hanging off your ass, you know, you looking
So speak.
you know, you bring it on. Lloyd Brown, they put a case on me. Well, wait a minute. I mean, they put one on you. You goddamn driving down in Collierville, fool, at 4 o'clock in the morning with your sound blaster, sharing your music from 3 blocks away. One tail lights out, your license plate is expired 3 months, and your driver's license is revoked. Damn you mean they picking on you? Fool, you brought in there 4 of you sitting up in there smoking.
Yeah.
It's your problem. Well, man, you know, we got a right to play our music. And that motherfucker sitting up in Collierville, he don't want to hear it. Not at 4 a.m. in the morning, so you gonna share it? Yeah, they gonna. Well, they picked on us, man. Damn! You that goddamn ignorant? You have no idea how ignorant this shit is. The last criminal case I took to represent, the late Judge Lockett said, Joe, would you take this? This dude is giving the PD's office grief. I said, okay. He said, if you can't finish it before they swear you in, I'll let you off. I go down there talking to this fool, and he's trying to explain this case. I said, wait a minute. let me ask you a question. How the hell do you manage to go try and hold up a Circle K at high noon, 5 marked squad cars parked around the damn thing, and you walk in there talking about, there's a hold up. It's going down, let it hit the ground. Yeah, I said that. How do you try to hold up a Circle K with 5 marked squad cars? Dude, well, it was written in the book. You mean written in the book? You mean like the big book? Yeah, like it's written in the book. Damn! Oh, it's like, motherfucker, what the hell's the matter with you? Well, you know, I was walking down the street, man. I didn't have no cheddar in my pocket, man. And I said, Circle K, they got cheddar. So I went back to my lady friend's house, man. Dug up my technical equipment, man. You know, I had it in a bag with some WD-40 so it wouldn't rust. Yeah, okay. So I got strapped, man. I went back in there, you know, and I pulled it out, said it's going down, let it hit the ground. They jumped out, threw me on the wall, kicked my ass, and didn't even read me my rates. Damn. Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Good. Yeah, and I appreciate you coming on my platform. This is my gift of, thank you. And I know that's not preferably your color because you're an alpha man.
Well, that's all right. I ain't wearing blue.
Yeah.
I'll wear that.
I appreciate it.
The red. But look here. Actually, see, we ought to be able to do better than anybody else in this country because we've dealt with adversity. We not punks. We know how to rough it up, all the rest of it. We know how to fight. So we have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to take the time to see that we carry out this advantage. It's like basketball. You're going to play basketball, you got to work at your layups and everything else. Well, you got to work at this other stuff too, but you got to work hard because you see basketball ain't nothing but fun.
Exactly.
Some few work out. How old are you, young man, over there?
20.
Okay. You got any substantial record or not? Okay. Got a program for you. We can't even get people in it. You ever heard of the Tuskegee Airmen? 332nd, the fire pilots. Same program they went through. It's almost 80 years old. The Smithsonian Institution funds it. Every 10 months, they get an entry class of 20 students. They pay for everything. It's worth about $150,000. You get full room and board, spending money, the whole 9 yards. When you get out, you get a commercial airline pilot's license for multi-engine aircraft and instrument flying, and you will find that the Air Force, Navy, etc. will accept it in lieu of flight school and take it all the way up to advanced training. You can get a job with FedEx, Delta, United, second chair in an aircraft, and you start off in the high 6 figures, early 20s. I've got a former brother-in-law. He's retired now. He makes 7, 8 figures sometimes. 10, 12 million a year off of this stuff when he takes the assignment. And you're not making it for just a few years. You're doing it for 25, 30 years. It's a whole lot of money to invest. Here's the problem. Smithsonian's talking about cutting the program because for each of these classes of 20 students, we only had 3 applicants each class. Just 3. They've all been white. So instead of 60 students graduated, we've only had 9 and all of them white folk. Why you want? I'm gonna be no goddamn pilot, man. I would play me some ball. Damn, the fuck that got to do with shit?
Right.
You still play some goddamn basketball.
Right. And fly
What
too.
the hell's the matter with you? The physical requirement is don't be ready to drop dead of a heart attack, and your vision has to be correctable to 2040, not 2020. So you don't even have to have perfect eyesight. Instrument flying. You interested?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The person is no relation, but it'll probably be a Dolores Brown. She's a widow for one of the combat pilots. Now, he went in at 17 years old. He went through the program. He got in. He became an officer. He got the GI Bill. He died at 94 years old. He was CEO for Kaiser Permanente Hospital.
Bring up my money.
Yeah. So anyway, there's potential. Another guy, Chappie James, in fact, she used to work for him. Chappie James wound up 4-star general in command of NORAD. He wasn't but 18 when he got this same program that I'm talking about, got him in, and he went through, did what he did.
How long you said the program was?
10 months. It's not that much.
That's no
Full time. They don't work your ass off, but I mean, it's flight school. They take you through basic training and an instrument flying with multi-engine aircraft.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they don't ask the program. I'll give you my number. Everybody can have a number.
Okay.
Just let me know. Send me a text that you're interested. But you see, this kind of thing is like what we need to be
Advocating.
top
Push
of.
stuff, yeah. Most definitely.
But you see the folks that
We started a campaign for black pilots, for young ones, to start pushing it and advocating
Right.
that.
Even just the technical aspect, everybody ain't meant for college. It's
Yeah.
You can go that route.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. I think that needs to be pushed even more.
Yeah.
Well, all of it needs to be pushed because you see, there's a downside. I'm 76. I grew up in LA. Now, they made all blacks and Hispanics take gardening, wood shop, metal shop, welding, electronics, and all this shit. They said you'll be happier if you work with your hands. So they discouraged us from using the head. But there's nothing wrong with getting the vocational skill. Hell, I can lay fiberglass, carbon fiber, work a lathe, do casting, and all that shit. Never done it to have to earn anything. But I do it. But you say, nothing. See, here's the other thing. None of it is easy. If you want to be good at it, you got to work at it. Got to work at everything. And you know why? What you're designed for, other than the last couple of 100 years, is something out there's going to eat your ass. If you do it wrong, you might freeze to death trying to feed yourself. Somebody might be coming after you to get what you had. There's a movie you should look at. It's called Alpha. And what it is 25,000 years ago. It's an ice age, and it's this guy and this wolf. And what happens is the last hunt of the season. If they don't bring back, they ain't gonna make it. But every year, people die on this hunt. So they talk about it. So in other words, it's a hard-ass life, but it was what everybody dealt with. So when it wouldn't be us here today talking about this if our ancestors hadn't been able to handle it, whether it was in Africa, Europe, Asia, North America. They handled it. That's why they have all these people today. So we can deal with that. So when I hear somebody talking about what he can't handle and it's just some lightweight bullshit, it's like, dude, what you doing to yourself, man? See, everybody that I grew up with is kind of dead, except one or two people. But I got the choice, like, you either fall for this bullshit and become something the system is living off of, or you figure it out and you can take penitentiary chances, which happens, or you can figure out how to avoid it. And see, the other thing is too, when you figure out how to avoid them, well, everybody does wrong. But this system's an interesting one. You haven't done anything wrong if you haven't done it badly enough to bring it to somebody's attention. I had a college professor. I liked it. Friend of mine, but he was a hitman for the mob.
Damn.
So your college professor was an assassin, you know. Nice dude. Drink beer with him, you know. But he's stone cold killer.
Stone cold killer.
You know, I had a interest in a recording studio, Verbally Toxic, about 20-something years ago. I had to get out of that. It got real crazy. Our keyboard, our mix board guy was brilliant, but he was a hit man too. So, you know, it's like, what the hell? But you see, I had another guy, actually my brother, and one of my brothers, and he was brilliant. This dude got a degree from UCLA and one from Cal State LA at the same time. Summa cum laude from UCLA and magna cum laude from LA. And he was a fucking assassin. It's like, swear to God, man, we went to Paris one time. They were doing the show over there. They wanted us over there for a PR thing. So he was an executive producer on my show. So when we get over there, Monsieur Stewart, Dr. Brown, would you please remain on the other car? So, man, we done fucked up what we do, man. Your luggage clean? Yeah, man, yeah. So we go down the back exit, not the jetway. We get in a Citroen stretch limo. We go to their VIP lounge, which is like nothing in America. So homeboy goes in the back with them, and I'm sipping up properly chilled Dom Perignon, caviar, fried rib, 25-year-old cheese, man, you know? So he comes out with this briefcase. He said, we need to check this shit out. I said, okay. So we go to the firing range in the back of the first class Royal Lounge, right? This is at the airport. They gave the dude a briefcase with a H&K MP5K submachine gun, 5 loaded magazines, and 2 CZ75 9mm pistols with 3 loaded magazines, extra one and one for each. So we go back there, the ammo don't have a brand on it. It's just got the caliber and the date of manufacturer. So we shoot the shit up on the range. I bring it down, inspect it. Then they come in and sanitize the shit. Reload all the magazines. He's gone for 4 days. I didn't ask him what he did. He just said it got kind of difficult with interested. So they gave us $1,500 a day in Euro dollars a day for spending change. And they picked up the tab, gave us the extra 2 weeks. So we got a little vacation and they upgraded us to international royal business class. So, you know, 747, you know, they got the windows go around the front. We got to sit up there. We had showers and all this shit, you know, on the airplane. It was fun, but, you know, I like that $1,500 per day. But damn, that take care of some shit brought back from home, baby, you know. Hey, I'm feeling good, you know. What you do, man? But, you know. That's the way he worked. You waiting for you ask him. Now, let me give you a story on him.
Yeah.
Now, this dude is EP on my show, co-EP. He got all these degrees. We are going on another trip where we are going from LA to New York, and he was going on to Prague. We had a condo, and his housekeeper was fine. Oh, she was fine. And she said, we need some fabric softeners. So Cliff took 2 duffel bags and filled them up with Bounce fabric softener sheets, all right? And put a whole bunch in his carry-on luggage. We get up there, and TSA wants to know why he needs fabric softener. So Cliff cops the attitude, right? All right, you've got an attitude. Your attitude needs to be adjusted. I'm calling LAPD. Stand over there. So I'm standing over there with it. 2 cops show up, one's white, the other one's Asian. So the white one looks at it. It goes over, talks to the TSA agent. He says, what seems to be the problem, sir? This big guy's got an attitude. He said, well, who are you talking about? Him. He said, you mean the very large guy in the tan shirt? He said, yeah, that's him. So his Asian partner starts walking over there. That guy grabs him. He said, no. And this is what he said. I'm trying to see my wife tonight, and you trying to get laid. We are not going over there. So he said, look, let me give you a piece of unsolicited advice. He said, when you think of that man over there, I know who he is. Think of him as wearing a cape with a big S on his chest, and he can fly. Yeah. He said, there are not enough police in this airport to make him do anything he doesn't want to do, even if we shoot him. And his partner said, what? He said, that's the guy I've been telling you about. He said, he trains our instructors. He said, piece of unsolicited advice. Make him smile. So he said, you're on your own. We're out of here. Come on, partner. And he took about 5, 6 steps, turned around and said, look, remember, make him smile. Have a nice day. So this is the guy that was the academician. Black Belt Magazine for 15 years called him probably the most dangerous human alive in North America. Dang. So, see, everybody that's in the academia ain't no pussy. So, like, oh, and funny end of the story is there was young brothers on a basketball team, college team, were coming through security at the same time. So when we go down B Concourse over there, Terminal 4, LAX, they're outside at these pubs eating. So they go, that's him, man, that's him. Make him smile, man. That's the dude I'm telling you about, man. Swear to God. It said, make him smile. So he was giving everybody a high five, but it's light. But see, you never know who the hell you actually deal with. And I would tell somebody young, take all the martial arts you can, learn how to shoot, develop your attitude, become sure and confident in your bravery.
Judge, I really appreciate you coming on my show. You've done so much by even just walking through the door.
Yeah.
I watched you over probably, like I watched you probably since I was probably like 10, 11 years old, seeing you on TV. Never thought I'd be sitting right across from you, and you'll be on our platform helping me, to, like I said, try to give mental health for inmates and try to, bring light to that and prevent kids from going to the prison system. That's my whole goal.
Yeah, I can see it. Here's one last remark. When you get my age, something dawns on you. Life was not very long. It's very quick. You don't realize how quick it goes by until it's over. 10 years ago seems like just 3 or 4 months ago. So you might as well do something because ain't nobody getting out this motherfucker alive. So
They're killing us. Government killing us.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't die anyway.
They know we don't
Yeah. So you might as well make it so everybody thinks about you, or a lot of people think about you, rather than the top of the Rolling Stone type thing and all that. So just keep that in mind, and you sleep more peacefully when you can have these adventures you can reflect back on. It's a tightrope. And if you don't walk that tightrope, you're not going to be much. But be careful of that tightrope so you don't fall off, don't get foolish about it.